Good morning, sixth graders. So you should be listening to this video on the morning of May 4th. And what I'm actually going to do is walk through the calendar and the school year here and kind of talk us through the plan for the conclusion of the year. So you'll see my eyes come up here a good little bit because I've got another screen here and the calendar and the lesson plans here. You have two more coming from me because we really have 3 weeks left of school, but I've received instruction now that we are going to have 2 more weeks of curriculum work, that kind of thing, and then a concluding week where we have a spirit week with various kinds of activities and fun things that we do online. And then of course also that week will serve to help us get caught up on anything or make corrections on something that was not turned in properly or something like that. So we'll obviously still keep in touch that week, but our main curriculum weeks here are the next 2 weeks. So like I said, this should be the morning of May 4th when you're listening to this particular video of mine. And so I'm talking through that week, the week of May 4th and then the week of May 11th. But it's the week of May 18th that is going to be that spirit week where we're not having that kind of ongoing official curriculum. So let's get started here. I've posted these two plans together with this video and everything. And the week 34 plan does require you to listen to this video and make sure that you understand what's going on for the rest of the year as well. That's one of the first little tasks on there. You'll then be reading chapter 7 of the Bronze Bow. And tomorrow then, Tuesday, May 5th, we're having a Google Meet, as we have always done on our Tuesdays at our regularly scheduled time. So if you're in 6B, that's 8 a.m. If you're in 6A, that is 9:35. 9:40 actually. 9:35 is when you get out of the previous period, so it's 9:40. And that is when we will be meeting. You'll see that posted up there like usual. It's our last Google Meet of the year. Okay, so like I said, we've got those 2 academic weeks there. We will do it in week 34, the first of those 2. We'll go ahead and drop the last week, right? Because we won't have new things to look over, new things to figure out. Obviously, I'm still available to you via email, or if we have some other issue that we just kind of need to talk to each other face to face, we can still use Google Meet for that purpose. But we won't plan on having a class-wide Google Meet in week 35. Now, I'm sure we'll have some video meets and things like that in that little spirit week at the end for all that fun and things like that. But that's my point here, that Tuesday, tomorrow, is our last Google Meet that is planned for the whole class for the year. Now you'll also note there it's going to be a short one, in part because I still have you doing some reading on this day and things like that. We're looking for about 10 minutes in this Google Meet. So we've done a lot of them, each of those starting at that particular time. So make sure to show up on time for that, because I want to be real careful with your time. You're going to do some other work that day. So we're just using 10 minutes to check in, make sure you understood this video, make sure you understand kind of the flow of what's happening over the course of these 2 weeks. Okay, so forgive me now here too. I did look it up for you in 6A. Yeah, it's 9:35 when you got out of the previous block, 9:40 when we began together. So of course 6A we will meet at 9:40. Now I'm going to come down onto the rest of this sheet and you'll see that it is very, very simple, very familiar, right? You're going to see kind of over and over again this assignment to do some reading out of the Bronze Bow. And you'll see that that generally is around 20 pages a day. Sometimes it's down in the teens, maybe as low as 15. Sometimes maybe it's up to something like 25. Usually it's more around 18, 19, 20 pages right on in there. A very normal amount for our reading. But then also if you have concerns about your own personal reading and wanting to keep a good pace, of course I will continue to be posting some of my own readings of the Bronze Bow. And I can connect you to this to the lady we had before. She was a teacher and she also was doing some readings of those on YouTube as well. Though her videos were a little bit slower, it seemed to me. Maybe not as useful if you wanted to use that option because you wanted to do something faster than your own personal reading. But that's what we have there through the rest of the week. I'll come over now, though, here onto week 35. And you'll notice that things are very much the same over there, okay? In your 6th grade week 35 lesson plan, you're going to see it continue on down and talk about readings of the Bronze Bow the rest of the way, so that actually we will be able to finish this book before the end of the year. And it's just a tremendous story. So a lot of what you're going to do is going to be very focused, and in one way, I think it's probably going to be very nice for you to have that ball in your court, is a nice phrase we like to use, which means you're going to be kind of in control. You know, if you're out on the porch and it's just a beautiful day and you get to rolling along and you're just reading a bunch of different chapters and chapter after chapter, that's great. You know, you might even read extra one day or maybe a little less one of the other days, that kind of thing. So I have laid it out here on the lesson plan with days and assignments and stuff like that, but that's to keep you on pace. If you want to get ahead of the pace, you get excited, you have a great time outside reading or something in this lovely weather we're having, then of course you can keep on reading, and that's just fine. So the difference then is week 35, the Friday, right? The last day there is a test for us on Google Forms, and it says, in accordance with the study guide you received 2 weeks ago. So what's that? Let's come on back over here. See, tomorrow, or today, really, May 4th, the same time you're going to be watching this video, I'm posting here, as you'll see, a study guide for that test. So now you're going to see how all these things come together. It's going to give you several prompts, writing prompts. The test is going to be a skills-based test. That is what's sometimes referred to. Not so much a memory-based test or something like that, but just your skill to read the Bronze Bow, to reflect on the Bronze Bow, to think hard and express your thoughts in writing. And so in that sense, I'm not actually testing you on the basis of time. I'm testing you on the basis of thought and writing, okay? So for that reason, you actually get to receive, May 4th, today, Monday, you get to receive those prompts and think them through, right? Bring questions about them tomorrow in the Google Meet if any of them confuse you. Think them through real hard, and you can even use that Google Doc and start to take all of your notes. As you're reading through the Bronze Bow over the course of these 2 weeks, you can take some notes. You can give yourself some answers. If you prefer, of course, you could print it out at home at your family's printer, or that Google Doc it's given you is individual for each student, so you can actually just continue typing. You know, you'll have the prompt there, basically a question. You can start typing out your answer. You can put on a little note. You can put something like page 101 was important here, or something like that. There are many different ways that you can continue thinking and writing on all of those topics. And you see, when you come to the test then, on the last day, 2 weeks from today, on Friday, it's open book, open note. It's about your skill of thinking and writing, okay? So you will get to do it that way, and the different grade levels are getting different amounts of questions that they're gonna have to answer, essays that they're gonna have to write, and for you it will be 2, as you see there, okay? So that's what things look like for you 6th graders on the way through the end of the year. We will finish this book, so that will be a good amount of reading, a little bit more than we normally do in how we pace out a book, but not much more actually. Overall, it's very simple in that way, right between usually 15 or 25 pages, right around in that window. And again, go to the recordings if you want something to keep you on time and on task. Other than that, you will want to be thinking through and working on typing out some notes or some thoughts you have, keeping things updated on your own personal study guide and test preparation sheet. And you'll want to go back to that maybe even as the test draws closer, and just make sure that you have some good writings and some thoughts developed on those. And then your test is open book, open note. You'll be able to have those things available to you, and you will write those 2 paragraphs that show your quality of reading and your ability to think and express yourself in writing. So you can be in touch at any time, of course, with email and all that. But like I mentioned, tomorrow as well is our last regularly scheduled Google Meet for the course. And that'll be a great place to come with any questions or comments on these things as well. So I'll look forward to that time, and we'll talk to you soon.